Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Miriam. Today, okay, I'm excited for this one, I'm not gonna lie. I've got my girl Mariadrea in the building.
Hi guys.
Okay, it's gonna be a good one. She's singer, songwriter, artist, music management for the likes of M Humcho, all of the good stuff, big UK scene involvement in the industry. Okay, we've got to celebrate females in this game. I've got a couple episodes in regards to women in the music industry coming out. This is the debut, this is the beginning.
Oh,
Oh,
oh.
yes. You're the first, honey.
Oh
You're
no,
the
I didn't know
first.
that.
It's really important to me that we start celebrating and giving women in these male-dominated industries their flowers, because I feel like, you know, I've been in a lot of different types of creative scenes, and it's so uncommon. Do you know what I mean? We don't
Mhm.
really celebrate our wins anymore. Like, well, not
Mm,
anymore. I don't think it's really ever been a thing for us. You
mm.
know, man, they'll hit their first milli or their first a thousand views, and they're out there partying, doing their thing, drinks, popping bottles. With us, we're like, no, we need to go harder. We need to go
Yeah.
harder. Up until like we feel like we've really made it.
Mm.
But I really want to start providing a platform for particularly women, because I feel like, men, you have enough. I mean, you can jump on if you want to jump
Yeah.
on, but you have enough. Do you get it? This is for the ladies.
Yeah.
And, just start celebrating us. So thank you so much for coming
Thank you for
on.
having me. I didn't realize I was the first of this new
Of this
kind
little,
of segment,
yes,
so I'm
ma'am.
honored.
Yes.
What a privilege.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
How have you been? Talk to me.
Yeah, good. Like since I last saw you, just
Mm,
been working
yeah.
and writing, traveling a bit, enjoying
Mm.
the summer.
You see.
It's over now, but
Uh, Listen, you
yeah.
see, when you have money, it's summer anytime. But let me tell you that.
Oh, okay. Well, I haven't reached that.
Oh, no, but we gonna get there,
It's
honey.
coming. It's
It's
coming.
coming. But this is the aim of this life, because you see me when I'm balling, yeah, inshallah, with the praise of God,
Yes.
okay, with God's blessings, because I don't want to jinx myself.
Yes.
Wintertime is summertime because I'm not here.
It's true. It's
What?
true. It's
You gotta
true. When
fly
you have
out.
money, you can go find the sun
Mm.
elsewhere. So,
How do you travel alone? Have you ever done that?
before this year, I had never been on a plane by myself,
Oh
and then
wow.
this year, I've kind of just been. Majority of the flights that I have taken have been alone, which I was really anxious about before it
Okay.
happened.
Yeah.
But now it kind of just feels normal, which is weird.
Right.
Yeah, so like I've done like long haul this year by
Mm.
myself.
Okay.
I went to Toronto, I went to Atlanta by myself, and I was
Not
just
the
like,
ATL,
I
honey.
know. That was yeah, what an experience. But
Yes.
yeah, so it's my first time taking solo trips, and I'd recommend, when people say do it, take solo trips or
Mm.
whatever, I agree, like it is a
100%.
good
Like,
experience.
with me, I started taking my first solo trip when I was 16.
Oh
As soon
really?
as I said I can do it, my parents were like, "Go."
Oh, that's so good. Where did you
Yeah.
go?
My first ever solo trip, I went back home because
Hmm.
I feel like my family wanted to test me out. Do you get it? To
Okay.
see if I can actually even make it back home. Do you know what I mean? So I went to Algeria for a month, and then after that, I went to Tenerife. I've been to Portugal. I've been to France. Damn,
Oh
all
well.
the all the small places that I'm not
Okay.
that far. Definitely want to do a big solo trip. Like, I
Yeah.
want to go. ATL has been on my hit list for a while. So is New York.
Mhm.
Even though I'm not super fond of America like that,
Yeah.
but there are the places I don't mind
Of course,
going to,
it's true.
because I feel like it's not too far from home. It's a bit more
Yeah,
familiar. Do you know what I
and
mean?
it's a good place to visit. Like,
100,
it's
yeah.
so you'll have a good time.
Yeah, for sure. Let's get into it. I'm excited.
Okay.
I've got bare energy out of nowhere, but I'm excited.
Me
I
too. I'm looking
wanna,
forward to this.
yes, I wanna, first of all, actually, quick question. Have you ever been interviewed?
No, I don't think so. No,
How do you
it's not
feel?
nervous.
No!
I'm a bit scared, but
Why?
not about like the questions that you'll ask me or anything like that. Just
Mhm.
more about me like going on the
Just
mic. Do you
like
know?
word vomit in your life
Yeah,
away.
like that's what I'm worried about. But
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Safe space. Don't be scared. I
Okay.
feel like, when a lot of people don't know this, but it took me 2 years to start my pod before I actually started my
Oh
pod.
really?
Yeah, purely based on like, I don't. It wasn't necessarily public opinion,
Mm,
but I know myself enough to know that I don't actually care. Like, I will say how I feel,
mm,
whether you like it or not,
mm.
and then, but you get over it, and it's not because of like how people react or anything like that. You get over it because it's about you. Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? And no one can actually place judgment on your life or like your story or your journey or anything like that. So I definitely want to get into that. I want to know
Okay.
everything about everything. Like
Okay.
how, like what made you go into the music business? How did it all start?
Well, for me, like I've always wanted to do music. Like, initially, I guess when I saw myself involved in music, it was as an artist.
Yeah.
I was like doing singing lessons as a child and whatever. And then I applied for the Brit School. I went
Okay.
there.
You went Brit?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay.
And I did music there, and like off the back of that, I made a couple of friends there. We were like in a 3-piece R&B girl group.
Cute.
And in my mind, like that was how it was gonna. That was it. I was gonna.
She said Destiny's Child.
Literally. And then it didn't really work out, but not for the typical reasons. That
Right.
It wasn't like, oh, we fell out or anything like that. They're
Right.
still very much my good friends.
We love that.
We love that.
We love to see it, honey.
Yeah. So, excuse me.
All right.
Yeah. So I was a part of a 3-piece R&B girl group, and then my parents were kind of like, where's this going? Like, what's, all of our parents collectively were kind of saying, if by a certain point you aren't seeing results or promise of something happening, we need you to go to uni because like
what are you
what are you going to be doing?
It's like there's no backup.
Yeah.
For them,
And I think especially like with parents that like my parents are very supportive. It's never been a case of them like thinking, oh, music's rubbish and da da da.
Yeah.
But they do work in like a corporate environment.
Okay.
So it is hard for them to kind of understand sometimes that the process to get somewhere in a creative industry is not straightforward.
Yeah, there's no like direct blueprint. Yeah.
It can happen anyway.
Anyway,
you can go to uni, it can happen. You can drop out of uni, it can happen.
Yeah.
Like it just, if it's meant to be and you're putting yourself in the position for it to happen, then it can. So I had to go to uni, which was like, in my experience, a waste of time. 100%. I wouldn't say it necessarily is for everyone, but for me, it was. I hated it. It felt like, what am I doing? But at the same time, I felt like, okay, if I wasn't here, what would I be doing?
Yeah.
And I had no clue.
Yeah. What did you do at uni?
So I studied, it was a music uni. So I studied creative musicianship was the name of the course, specifically in vocals. So it was just, I guess the whole like premise of the degree was about developing yourself as an artist.
Cool.
But it was just, I felt, let me not go bashing the uni.
Look, you can't listen. I'd just been done left.
It
uni,
wasn't for me. I'll just say that. Okay.
Yeah. I feel like uni is one of those things, where unless you're gonna go down like a super academic route, I'm talking like doctors, lawyers, this, that, and the other. I feel like go to uni, get that, because I don't want to ever go up to the doctor and he ain't got no degree, honey. I can say that
True.
for free. Do you understand?
True.
But I feel like I did a film degree, because I come from like a film directing, creative directing background, and personally, I don't know. Like I was barely there to even really form an opinion anyway.
Honestly.
And I just feel like I always said at the end of my degree that everything I did during those 3 years outside of uni has actually helped me develop my career way more than me just being in uni. And I think one of the things I'm grateful for is, even though I don't necessarily care for uni, and I think it was a complete waste of time and completely unnecessary for me as a creative, I was grateful for that like balance. Do you know what I mean? The fact that I could study and commit to something, but also do 101 things to develop that outside of uni.
Yeah.
Because the people know, you don't really know this, but I never wanted to go to uni. I tried to do an apprenticeship. My dad came to me. He was like, listen, you're the first one to go to uni, and started bawling his eyes out. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, like I will go, because it's important to do that for your parents. Even though people are like, don't go uni for your parents. I'm a bit about that, because my parents never had the opportunity to go to uni. Do you know what I mean? They had to come here and build a life over here from African countries that weren't striving, that took things from them because of the white man and all this sort of stuff there. So you gotta just sometimes do the thing. But if you know what you want to do and your heart's not in it, do it alongside that. Like now, I graduate end of the month.
Oh, congratulations.
Thanks, baby. I'm just excited for the robe, honey. I just want to pull up in the robe and just take my paper and
Do
go.
that
Oh, the
same
one to
boomerang.
chuck. Yeah, do you understand? The one that everyone has on the gram.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then just to see like my parents be like, yeah, my daughter has a degree. Like it might not be in, you know, an academic route, but she has a degree and no one can chat to her. But yeah, let's go after uni. What were you doing?
So I left uni in 2018.
Cool.
And in my last year, I started working at the O2 as a security guard.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, ma'am.
I'm a security guard.
Per.
So don't play.
As you should.
Yeah, so I was working like doing security and just like managing a few of like the lounges that they have there. And the thing about that job is that I love the job. I love the people there, the environment. Like it was working with my friends.
Right, yeah.
But it was so easy to get comfortable. And it was like, as much as I was making good money for what I was doing,
right.
I was in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, okay, but how am I gonna do what I actually want to do?
Yeah.
And then like COVID happened, and I was put on furlough, so I was lucky, one of the lucky ones in that sense. And I was like, okay, so now I have all the time in the world. I don't have to worry about finance because I'm still being paid. I'm at home, can't really go anywhere. What am I gonna do? Like now's my opportunity to try to, you know, take advantage of this free time and get into what I want to get into.
Yeah.
So I had always been,
Okay.
I'd always been looking at like internships and stuff, and I realized that there were like majority of the internships were like in marketing that I would see in music. And being honest, it's not an area that I'm really interested in, but
100%.
my mentality was like, okay, I need to try to get my foot in the door kind of thing. So I did like a little online course that I paid for and in marketing, and then was like looking for internships. And then I saw an advert for Jackie Davidson Management.
Okay.
And she was looking for an intern. I was like, yeah, I applied for that. Got that job, and that was starting on the 1st of June in 2020.
Oh wow.
And then while I was on it, that was like 2 days a week, and it was working like with her roster and just doing like social media type things for her roster. And then I was thinking, okay, so that's taking up 2 days of the week. Let me try and see if I can do something else.
Right, yeah.
And then like this is the kind of where like my story, I feel, in music really started.
Began. This is like your turning point.
Yeah, because I was like looking on, you know, LinkedIn, Indeed, everywhere, typical. And I was like, okay, let me see Twitter. Maybe there'll be something on Twitter. So one thing about me in general, I like to follow people that are in music. I don't have to know you, but it's like, oh, okay, maybe I'll need a bass player. Maybe I'll need someone
100.
who knows like about, you know, PR and whatever. So if I see that you're involved in the industry and, you know, we have mutuals and stuff, I'll definitely like follow. So this started because on Twitter I was following Zion Richards.
Okay.
Who he's, you know, worked in music forever. He's got a crazy network. So I'd seen like loads of people that I knew him and only said good things about him. So I was following him, and he retweeted a tweet from an account called Uncle Quabs.
Not Uncle.
Uncle Quabs. Shout out to Uncle Quabs every
Shout
time.
Out Uncle, honey.
And he was looking. He is actually one of the founders of Mixtape Madness.
Bang him.
And they were looking for an A&R intern.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, hi. I saw that you were looking for blah blah blah.
Yep. Sign me up. Sign me up.
Exactly. So I interviewed for that.
Bang him.
And so after the interview, he was like, oh, you know, based on your musical interests, I don't feel like this is the right job for you, but I have another job for you that I feel would be, you know, perfect.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, sure,
whatever
sure.
you're willing to offer, I'll take it.
Exactly. And he was like, okay, well, this would require another interview with another member of the team, and the job would be to intern for Huncho. And I was like, yeah,
hello,
sure,
yes,
yeah. So probably like a week later, I interviewed. Interview went well, and I was just waiting to hear back. And then I heard back on the 1st of July, 2020. So a month after starting my other internship, started this one.
Yeah.
I got the job. They put me to work straight away.
We love to see
and I was just like, yeah, just juggling both, but really like didn't have anything else to do. So it was like, yeah, cool. So I was doing both of those things at the same time. And going back to Jackie Davidson, she manages like crazy songwriter called Wayne Hector. He's written like songs with Nicki Minaj, like even Westlife, the ones that when we were little, like the Westlife songs.
Big up Westlife. If you know about Westlife, don't kill
yeah, exactly.
me. Wow, that's
so
nuts.
Wayne Hector is a big writer, and she Jackie manages him and has for most of his career, like I think all of his career. I might be misspeaking, but so I'd expressed to her my interest in songwriting, and she obviously gets sent like beat packs and stuff like that. So she sent me a beat pack, and she was like, okay, I'm setting you the challenge, like you need to write, and every week I want to hear a new song and we're going to talk about it.
Banging.
So every Sunday I would send her the song, she would listen to it, she would call me and like spend time breaking it down, like this is what's good, this is what needs work, blah 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 blah.
That is so important.
So important. And like I feel like I owe her everything that like has happened since. She kind of laid the foundation for that to be able to happen. And funny enough, like I've never met her.
That's crazy.
It's a virtual relationship that we had because it was all through COVID. So I've never been in the same room with her.
The fact that like you managed to find somebody that has, all this success, all these credentials, like has had a big influence in the industry, period, and has given you like the time, like she's called you and spent time with you to like run you through everything and correct you, critique you, like help you perfect your craft is so important, because the industry, especially in the UK, whether it's music, whether it's the creative industry, whatever, I feel like is very, very tight-knit. Not a lot of people are willing to go the extra mile. Like people
to let new people in.
That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of people, might give you a piece of advice and might help you. And I don't think it's everybody's responsibility to help everybody. That's not what I'm saying. But I think especially when you see that potential or you see that spark in somebody or how much they want it, take a little time out, because that could have been you, and it's something that is so important to maintain the industry and keep it going and almost like pass the baton down. Do you know what I'm saying? So shout out to her for doing that.
Shout out to Jackie Davidson, definitely. So I was doing that like every week for a couple of months. So I got a good few songs out of it.
Yes, ma'am.
And then like my internship with her ended, and I continued to work with M Huncho. And then after like interning for a few months, I was made a permanent member of the team.
This is what we like to see.
So yeah, that was really really an exciting time to know that like I'd kind of proven myself and like secured my place working with him. And
what was like, let's say, the first few months, because you've gone from, working, like leaving uni, working security, doing an internship, landing a banging internship with somebody that is somewhat legendary, if I may, do you know what I'm saying? And then through that, you've managed to become a member of an artist team that is massive in the UK. Like, what was the first couple months in that environment like for you? Like, how did you feel?
I think because of COVID, it was a bit different to how it probably would have been if I'd started now. Like,
it wasn't conventional.
Everyone was trying to figure out, how are we still gonna do shows, and it was like a time that's unheard of, like so I think it was a very unique experience because we were all trying to figure it out. But then as around the time when I was made permanent, he'd released DNA, which was a joint mixtape with Nave Smalls. So we were able to, like, the restrictions allowed us to do like pop-up shops and so I got to like experience that for the first time. It was like a mini tour. We did like Bristol and Brighton, and people were traveling from wherever to come and see him. So that was my first experience, like getting to see how it works in the flesh kind of thing. So that was cool. And at times I'll be kind of like pinching myself, like, oh my gosh, like I'm actually being paid to be here to do this.
100%.
And there were times